Okay. Welcome everyone to the St. Ignatius College Prep College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. Each will have 6 minutes to share more about their institution, but we'll be around for the entire session to answer questions. My name is Chelsea. I will be your facilitator for this evening. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to the presenters at any time. This is one of many sessions happening, so be sure to check the schedule on the website. If you missed one or you want to see this again, the presentation is being recorded and all will be available at strivescan.com/Ignatius. And now I'm going to turn it over to our first presenter, and that's going to be Babson College.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'm so glad to be here with you today. My name is Lindsay Ewing, and I'm a Senior Assistant Director of Admission at Babson College. Babson is a small private business school that's located in Wellesley, Massachusetts, which is about 10 miles from the center of the city of Boston. So when we talk about our location, we like to highlight that Babson students really have the best of both worlds. They're studying, as you can see from this picture, on a beautiful suburban campus that has the quintessential New England small college feel, brick buildings and a wonderful quad where you can play Frisbee or sit in an Adirondack chair, but we're just 10 miles away from a wonderful city in Boston for internships, taking in history, great food, lots of museums. And so our students really use that. We have a partnership with Uber actually, where you can take a free ride to the local train station and then take the train into the city, or a discounted ride straight from campus into Boston. When people think Babson, we hope that they think business because we are a business college. And then we hope that 2 other words come to mind, and those are global and entrepreneurial. And we say global because we think if you're going to go into business, it's essential that you know how to relate to people who are like you and people who are different from you. So our campus community really reflects that. We have around 2,400 undergraduate students. We are around 30% international students with around 80 countries represented on campus. We're roughly even with men and women. We're about 50% domestic students of color, about 20% first generation students. So our hope is if you come to Babson, there will be some people that you share a lot in common with and understand easily, as well as people who are very different from you. And when you're working together on a group project or having a conversation late at night in a dorm, there's a lot of space for learning on both sides. The other word that I mentioned is entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial. So within the realm of business, that is what Babson is known for. We've been ranked #1 for entrepreneurship for the past 25 years, which we're quite proud of. But we do think it's important to say a little bit about what that does and does not mean for a Babson student. Because it's not the case that every student who comes to Babson graduates and starts his or her own business. Every student will start a business while they're at Babson. You will take a class in your first year where you work with a team and get seed money from the school to start a company. That sets the foundation for your business education. But we also think about entrepreneurship more broadly. We talk about having the mindset of an entrepreneur and being able to pivot, take calculated risks, think outside the box. We cultivate that through small hands-on classes. We don't have any teaching assistants at Babson, so you'll have full access to your professors. And regardless of whether you take entrepreneurship in the traditional direction and have your own venture, or you go and work at an established organization in something like accounting, marketing, finance, you're going to be really well prepared for that next step. 99% of our students are employed full-time or in grad school within 6 months of graduation. A few other things about our curriculum. Your degree will be in business. It will be a Bachelor of Science degree in business, but 50% of your courses will be in the liberal arts, and you get a lot of say as to what those liberal arts classes are. There are 27 concentrations within business that you can choose from, ranging from accounting, marketing, entrepreneurship to things like literary and visual arts or legal studies, because business is incredibly versatile. And we're also part of the BOW partnership. So students at Babson can take classes at Wellesley College and Olin College of Engineering quite easily. There's a bus that runs between the 3 schools. And that's a great combination of, we have the business expertise, Olin has engineering, and Wellesley has liberal arts. From a student life perspective, we are a very residential campus. All of our first years are required to live on Babson's campus, and about 80 to 85% of Babson students will live on campus for all 4 years. There's a lot going on because students are living there. Over 100 clubs and organizations. Study abroad is incredibly popular. We have Division III varsity athletics, club athletics, intramural athletics, fraternities and sororities, the arts. So a little bit of something for everyone. And again, it's a community that includes people from all over the country and all over the world. About 80% of our students come from outside of New England. So it's not uncommon to be far away from home and really looking for Babson to be that home for your 4 years of school. From an admission perspective, we have 2 application deadlines and 4 application plans. The first one is November 1st, and at that point we have early decision 1 and early action. Our second deadline is always the first business day of January, so I believe it will be January 2nd in 2023, and at that point we have early decision 2 and regular decision. We are on the common application and we are test optional, and we really do mean optional when we say optional. About 60% of the class of 2025, so the students who started at Babson in September of last year, were test optional candidates. If you have testing you're proud of, send it along. If you do not, don't worry about it. We're not going to be asking ourselves why there isn't testing associated with your file. From a financial aid perspective, because we know college, especially a private college like Babson, is a huge investment of time and resources. We are fortunate to be need blind for domestic applicants. So if you're a US citizen or US permanent resident, we have no sense of what your family can contribute to the cost of attending Babson when we read your application, and we do meet 100% of demonstrated financial need. We also have a handful of merit scholarships available at Babson. They are quite competitive, and because of our need blind policy, 90% of our budget goes towards need-based aid, but there are those handful of merit scholarship opportunities for both international and domestic students. So I'll end with this contact information, and I will mention that we are open for visitors now. If you find yourself in the Boston area, we would love to connect with you in person on campus. We also have a full suite of virtual programming available on our website. Thanks for your attention. Have a good evening.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Grinnell College.
Let's share my screen real quick. This might be the wrong screen. Let's see. Oh, no, there we go. I'm not sure if you're seeing the right screen because I'm not, but if you see a campus and not necessarily my background, I hope you can. But yeah. My name is Christian Morris. I'm a senior admission counselor here at Grinnell College. I'm also a recent alum. I graduated in 2018 studying Spanish and education, and I'm excited to be here to talk to you guys about Grinnell College. And so Grinnell College is a small liberal arts college in Iowa, right in between Des Moines and Iowa City, about 45 minutes both directions, east and west, so it's an hour-and-a-half round trip to either of the 2 biggest cities in Iowa any day of the week, but also about 4.5 hours driving from the Chicagoland area. And on campus, we really do pride ourselves on our sense of diversity, which is directly reflected through our student body. And so within those 1,700 students, over 20% of our student body are international students. On top of that, another 25% are domestic students of color. And then 15% are first generation students, and we are 94% out of state. But in all honesty, the thing that stood out to me as someone who was a student and graduated was just the fact that oh, it's going pretty fast. That's cool. It's just the fact that within those 1,700 students, they come from over 50 different countries from around the world, which is honestly really crazy. It did not matter what I was doing in my free time, what I wanted to do academically, or what I wanted to do professionally. Regardless of my interests, I found myself interacting with people of a completely different cultural background and intellectual background than anyone else around me, which I found to be really awesome. And my slideshow tends to be transitioning way too fast, and I have no idea why. So I apologize for that. But now moving on to some of our curriculum. Our curriculum is pretty rare. It isn't offered at too many liberal arts institutions and fewer at large university-sized institutions, and it's called the individually advised curriculum. And so what that means is that aside from your one required class that you have in your first semester of your first year, which is called tutorial, the rest of your classes every single semester are all electives as long as it's outside of your major. And you have until the end of your second year to actually declare your major in the first place, which I think is really cool. You have time to figure out what you're good at, what you're bad at, to stay away from what you're bad at and to focus on what you're good at. But also you have the time and resources to essentially figure out that what you're good at isn't necessarily the same thing as what you're most passionate about. You have the time to figure out how to intersect these two different things academically and then professionally as you move yourself forward. And for some reason, I cannot pause my slideshow and it just keeps transitioning. So I'm just going to keep going. But on campus, we also have well over 500 events every year, all free of charge and all open door policy, which is really cool too. There's little to no bar or cut for any and all types of activities, whether it's varsity sports, which we're a D3 institution for, whether it's for ensembles, a cappella groups, and so on. We want you to do things because you're interested in doing it, not because you've trained your entire life to inhabit a space just this one time. You can get out of your comfort zone at your own will and indulge in your own interests at your own actual will, rather than having to train just to be in that space specifically. And moving on to tutorial really quickly. Tutorial, that one required class, is honestly exactly what it sounds like almost. It's meant to essentially introduce all of our incoming first-year students to the academic and social foundations of our classroom setting before you get into more intense classes in your second semesters, second year, third year, and fourth year, which means that this is the only class solely made up of first years. So everyone in that space with you academically and socially is just as new to this as you, but also just as lost as you, which is pretty comforting. And moving on to some off-campus study. Off-campus study is very accessible here at Grinnell. The only thing that you need to do as a student is to meet the GPA requirement, which is a 2.75 at the very least, to have the ability to go off campus. We have off-campus programs in every department and in every discipline. So it does not matter what your academic interest is or what your major is at that point in time, as long as you meet that GPA requirement. And you're off campus, and also in addition to that, whenever you do go off campus, since off campus could be within the United States or outside the United States, your financial aid goes off campus with you, because breathing in London or in Japan or in New York probably costs more money there than breathing in Iowa. So we're always aware of that change, because it's our biggest nightmare for faculty, staff, or students to be anywhere in the world without enough resources to thrive there. Moving on to some research. Research is absolutely required in all of our departments and in all of our disciplines, which is very lovely. That essentially implies that regardless of what class you take, whether it's a 101 course, a 300 level capstone to your major, a class related to your major, unrelated to your major, you have to get the hands-on research aspect done in a decent manner, because it's a large portion of your grade for that class. But it also means that research is absolutely required across the board. It's unavoidable. There's no competition at all to get access to research, whether it is during the summer, during the year, and it's obviously required during your classes as well. But something I'd like to end on would be the application process and financial aid. With respect to the application process, we have 3 deadlines: early decision 1, early decision 2, and regular decision. And we are test optional this coming year and for the next 3 to 4 years as well. And we take a holistic approach whenever we do look at the application. And that's a very important concept, because we don't necessarily just care about how you've done in the classroom, because in all honesty, anyone can work really, really, really hard, or maybe not hard at all, and get straight A's. Whereas not everyone would feel comfortable and at home here at Grinnell. So we really do care about fit. Aside from making sure that, yes, you can do the work, we are looking at fit and whether you would be happy here and a good community member here at Grinnell College. That's something that we care about a lot more than just how you've done in the classroom. And on top of that, with respect to financial aid, we are need blind and we meet 100% of demonstrated need. Need blind implies that when you do click submit on the application, we get no information regarding your family's ability to pay the full tuition. And we meet 100% demonstrated need, which means that when you do essentially apply for financial assistance, we give you a packet of need that meets 100% of that demonstrated need without any loans. But yeah, thank you for having me, and I'll stop there.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Illinois Wesleyan University.
Hello, everybody. My name is Anthony Roberts. It is a pleasure to meet you all today. If you give me 1 second, so I can get this on. Perfect. I'm hoping that you guys are seeing everything. So, a little bit about Lenovo University. We are a small private liberal arts university down in Bloomington, Illinois. If you know where Illinois State University is, we are literally right next door to Illinois State. So we're in a big college town. I always say it's the best of both worlds. We're going to be a smaller, as far as our population of students. We'll have about 1,700 students, But if you're looking for that bigger feel, you absolutely can get that in the area because you're going to be in a town of a little bit under 30,000 college students. We are all undergraduate only. We boast an 11-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. The great thing about it, you're going to get a lot of one-on-one opportunities with the professors in which you're with, especially more technical tracks. I always feel like that is very influential and very helpful. I came from a big high school myself at home with Baltimore, if you guys are familiar with it. I ended up here. I could really tell you the relationships that you build are paramount in your success at the university. Average class size is about 16 students. Our average lab size there being 13 students. Now, although we're smaller in terms of population, we still cover quite a bit of space. We'll have 12 residence halls covering 82 acres worth of land. These are actual images from our classrooms. We build everything in more of a modern round table type setting. So that way you could have conversations in the room. Our biggest thing is really giving you the experience of going out, building your own knowledge, whether it be through job opportunities, internship opportunities, and bringing that knowledge and wealth back to the classroom and expressing that amongst your peers to hopefully guide you in your learning and guide you in your understanding of the world outside of school. As far as our leading programs at the university, I would say nursing by far, we're #1 in the state in nursing. With that being said, it is a more competitive program, so I'll talk about that in just a second. Our other leading majors, I would say, would be business, as well as the sciences. We are thriving in chemistry, biology, any pre-med programs, as well as psychology as well. We're also ranked as the #7 theater arts school in the nation. As far as musical theater goes, let me clarify that right there. We're the #7 musical theater school in the nation, so theater arts is another big emphasis for us. Within our school of nursing, we've had a 100% job placement in that field over the past 19 years. Within our business programs, again, the biggest thing is internships. In our location is paramount. Of course, Bloomington Normals is a great little mid-major hub for internship and job opportunities. However, we are 2 hours away from Chicago, 2 hours away from St. Louis, 2.5 hours away from Indianapolis. So if you see yourself thriving in more of a bigger urban city type setting, we absolutely have connections to get you there as well. Last, with our College of Fine Arts, there you'll see our Ames School of Art, our School of Music, as well as our School of Theater Arts. Again, we're trying to get you as much opportunity as possible. We put on phenomenal programming and phenomenal events throughout that program. We have about 18 people that have currently worked or assisted on Broadway that have come from that program. So it's another phenomenal school for us. Of the competitive programs, nursing and theater arts are more competitive. So there are a limited amount of seats there. Everything else is relatively a little bit more easier to apply for. So if you're going to apply there, I would say apply early. You're probably going to be on the higher end as far as scores go. So statistics for you, we're ranked as the #1 school in Illinois and #7 in the nation for the best colleges to get in the job. To tell you that Illinois Wesleyan degree holds a little bit of weight to it. Graduating with that certificate definitely helps you out. And again, it's the work experience that you build while you're at that undergraduate level. It just pays dividends to what you can do and where you can go post-graduation. We're also #1 in Illinois for highest earning graduates. Again, the experience that you build. A lot of students don't graduate with experience in the work field that they want to go into. Guarantee you by the time that you graduate from Illinois Wesleyan, you will have experience in whatever field that you decide to ultimately end up in later on. And that's spoken from an alumni. In terms of our success, some more statistics for you. 93% of our graduates complete their degree in 4 years. We have a mantra: in the door, out the door in 4. You get an academic advisor that's catered towards you. They help you. It's mandatory that you meet with them before the start each semester. So that way they help plan out your goal for success and keep you on that 4-year track towards graduation. 89% of our first-year students return for their second year. That is a retention rate. Always an important number for you to see. And for us, it remains relatively high. For us, that just tells us our students enjoy what they're doing, who they're connected with on campus, enough to at least come back up until they receive that Illinois Wesleyan degree. 95% of our students have a job or are enrolled in the graduate program, and this is within 6 months of graduation. Again, the work experience played dividends as far as what you can do and where you can go from there. And then nearly half of our students participate in some form of undergraduate research. Research is a big component of our university. It's available in each major and minor that we do have. Absolutely your choice of whether you want to be involved in research or not. We do have a couple scholarship options available for you if you do want to partake in research opportunities on campus. We are a D3 athletic community as well. That is another big emphasis across our university. A third of our students will be involved in some form of athletics. We've now graduated 145 academic All-Americans. I always say if we're going to compete well, whether it be in the classroom, on the field, on the court, we're going to do fairly well in what we do. We have 24 different varsity sports teams on campus, now 9 national championship winners since 1997. Men's golf just picked up another one. And our winning percentages have put us in the top 30 institutions in all NCAA colleges and universities at the D1, D2, and D3 level. terms of financial aid, once you apply and once you are admitted, you're automatically considered for financial aid from us. We do merit aid right off the top. Ranges from about $10,000 to $34,000 for admissions purposes, your test scores, your transcripts, as well as the interview score if you decide to go test optional or what kind of play into that. We also do a lot of need-based financial aid that we deal out as well. On average, over $42 million in our own grants and scholarships are given out to our students annually. So we do a good job. Other good thing is our proposals are open-ended. So in the case that we offer you amount and you come back, we can make those adjustments as need be. In terms of how to apply, we are a Common App school. We do not have an application fee, just as any other school. We'll have our application on our website. The early action deadline there is November 15th. If you apply by then, you hear back by December 15th. After that, you go into regular decision, typically hearing back January 1st enrollment of that given year. And that is all that I have for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Emmanuel College.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for having me tonight, and thanks for being here. I am from Emmanuel College in Boston, Massachusetts. So my name is Catherine. I'm an admissions counselor, and like I said, thank you so much for joining us tonight. So Emmanuel is located in Boston, Massachusetts. We are the #1 city for entrepreneurial growth and innovation, the second best market for STEM professionals, and the third most walkable city. We have just about 2,000 undergraduate students. We are a Catholic private liberal arts institution, and we also have a 17-acre campus. So we really are able to give our students the best of both worlds of having an on-campus experience while also being in a major city like Boston. So just Emmanuel at a glance. So our academics are divided up into 5 schools. So we have our School of Business and Management, our School of Education, our School of Humanities and Social Sciences, our School of Nursing, and then our School of Science and Health. And within those schools, we have a variety of majors and minors, as you can see that they're listed here. We offer Bachelor of Arts, Fine Arts, Science, and then Science and Nursing. And again, those are our schools listed on the bottom left. And then one other component that I do like to mention is that we do have a 4+1 program for both business administration and education. So you would receive your master's degree and your bachelor's degree in 5 years instead of 6, which would save you a ton of time and money. And as you can see from our list of majors and minors, we really do have something for everybody. And even if you are undecided, I believe that a liberal arts school would be best for you because you're able to take classes in multiple disciplines and really try and figure out, what works best for you and where your interests lie. So the Emmanuel effect, I like to discuss really quick. So 100% of students have to complete an internship before graduation. It is a graduation requirement, and it really is essential in giving students a hands-on experience in whatever they're studying in the classroom. And also I want to say 63% of students complete a second internship. So either they were really thrilled with their first placement and they wanted to try something else. If they wanted to do it again, and then maybe their first internship wasn't a good fit, our Career Services Center really works hard to make sure that you have a hands-on experience that you are passionate about. And then with the internship rate, trickles down into our employment rate and grad school placement rate. So our employment rate is at about 95% of graduates who are seeking employment and had found a job. And then for grad school placement, it's about 94% of graduates who are seeking admission to graduate school had been admitted. And I believe that these statistics are just a true testament to how hard our staff and faculty really work to maintain the success of our students. And also being in the city of Boston, there's tons of opportunity for internships and job placement and things of that sort. So we are a Division III institution. We have 16 NCAA sports between men's and women's. So if you are interested in being recruited for one of our varsity sports, I would definitely recommend checking out our website. It's emmanuel.edu/GoSaints, and you can fill out our recruiting form, and our coaches will be in touch with you if they'd maybe like to see game film and maybe come out and see one of your games. And it definitely really is a great way to stay involved. If you are not interested in joining a varsity sport, we have over 100 clubs and organizations for students to choose from, including intramural and club sports. And the rest of our clubs and organizations range anything from music, art, dance. Almost every single one of our academic programs has a club as well. So accounting club, psychology club, things like that. So there's definitely something for everybody. The best way that I can describe it is that you could never leave Emmanuel's campus and still have a great time. And if you're ever bored, then you're definitely doing something wrong, and definitely need to check out, our resources and things like that on campus. So our requirements to apply, so we are free to apply on the common application. We require your application essay, your transcripts from all high schools attended, and then 2 letters of recommendation, one from a counselor and one from a teacher. We are a test optional institution, and I believe, as Babson said, we are a true test optional institution. So you don't have to submit your scores if you don't want to. If you don't believe that they're a true reflection as to who you are as a student, then you do not have to submit them. So for this past application season, we were test optional for nursing as well. Our nursing committee hasn't entirely decided what we're going to do for this upcoming application season. So test scores may be required, they may be not, but we will have that information released within the coming weeks. An interview is recommended but not required. We do read applications very holistically, so an interview is really nice to kind of bring your application to life and just learn a little bit more about you. I know that an interview has definitely helped me when I see, certain students, their applications come across my desk, and I'm able to kind of put a face to a name. And like I said, it really just kind of brings their application to life. And then these are just some deadlines. So early action 1 is November 1st. Our early action 2 deadline is December 15th. If you are interested in applying to our nursing program, I would definitely recommend applying either early action 1 or early action 2, because it is a direct entry program and it is pretty competitive. We only have about 40 seats per cohort. So definitely get those applications in if you're interested. And then our regular decision deadline is February 15th. And then for spring admission, if I have any, I don't think I'd have transfer students in here. And then for the FAFSA, the priority deadline is February 15th. And I invite you all to connect with us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And then there is my contact information on the bottom as well. We are also open for campus visits Monday through Friday. And then we offer tours and info sessions on Saturdays as well. So if you're ever in the Boston area, definitely feel free to come by and check us out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Alrighty, next up we have Lawrence University.
All right. Thanks, Chelsea. Good evening, St. Ignatius. Thanks for taking a little bit of time to spend some time with some wonderful small colleges tonight. My name is Keegan White, Associate Director of Admission at Lawrence University, and I'm excited to tell you a little bit about Lawrence. So Lawrence is a small college, like many of us here tonight, as well as a conservatory of music. And we're located in Appleton, Wisconsin, the 5th largest city in Wisconsin, with a metro population of 250,000. Appleton has a small town feel, but you're going to find all the big city amenities: an airport, internships, transit, coffee shops, restaurant, museums, trails, a farmer's market. We even have a performing arts center that hosts Broadway touring productions like Hamilton, Wicked, and Dear Evan Hansen for like $20 instead of the $200 that you probably paid here in Chicago. So let's dive in and learn a little bit about Lawrence. So Lawrence is unique in that we are both a nationally ranked college of liberal arts and sciences and a highly selective conservatory of music. 80% of our students study in the college and 20% in the conservatory. And between the two, we offer 64 areas of study. We also offer the option of pursuing a 5-year double degree program, a bachelor's of arts in the college and a bachelor of music from the conservatory, the only of its kind at an entirely undergraduate institution. Lawrence students are challenged and nurtured through individualized experiences in our small classes, thanks in part to our 8-to-1 student to faculty ratio, which is one of the smallest in the country. So you're going to know and love your professors and your classmates at Lawrence. Our students are inherently curious, creative, welcoming, engaged, and passionate about what they do. And our faculty are equally engaged not only with their own scholarship and research, but especially in their teaching and mentorship. It's not uncommon to be invited to dinner at a professor's house with your class, or to co-present with a faculty advisor at a conference. The academic curriculum at Lawrence is bookended by two quintessential scholarly experiences: first-year studies and senior experience. First-year studies is our expansive introduction to the liberal arts, with an introduction to our honor code, a shared syllabus of works like Plato's Republic, Honeybee Democracy, Poor Economics, and Miles Davis's Kind of Blue. Laurentians are taught to think critically, read critically, and write critically, to analyze and synthesize, to debate, and to communicate effectively across a variety of fields and a variety of media. Senior experience is the culmination of the Lawrence education. Every graduating senior produces something significant. It could be an independent or collaborative research project, art exhibition, scholarly paper, or a senior recital. But the point is that you're sharing your experiences and expertise, your light, with the world and preparing for your next step in life. Your Lawrence academic journey doesn't just prepare you for a career or a job, but rather helps you become a more mindful global citizen and make a difference in the world. And it's no coincidence that 97% of our graduates have found their next step within 6 months of graduation. And I have to say, talking to St. Ignatius students, that it dovetails beautifully with a Jesuit education. Lawrence is also a fully residential community with nearly 100% of our students living on campus all 4 years. With NCAA D3 athletics, 14 world-class music ensembles, opera and theater productions, 150 clubs and organizations, a student-run garden, and even the world's longest-running trivia contest. If there's a passion that you want to pursue in college, you're going to find your home here at Lawrence. Whoops. In addition to our residential campus in Appleton, we have 2 satellite campuses. Pictured here is Bjorklanden, a lodge and 441 acres of woods right on Lake Michigan in Door County, just an hour and a half north of campus. It's a truly beautiful and serene setting that serves as a weekend retreat center for students. Our third campus is the London Center in central London, which is the most popular of our 50 study abroad programs. Over 40% of Lawrence students will study abroad during their time here, and because of our trimester calendar, it's easy to fit in study abroad even if you're a STEM major, a student athlete, or both. We also just added an additional financial aid component to make it accessible to students regardless of financial aid status. So as the pandemic recedes, hopefully we hope to see that number increase and more of our students studying abroad. If you're looking for a community that's really rich and with diverse perspectives, you're going to find it in Lawrence. 30% of our students are of color, 25% are first generation of college students, and 15% come from over 50 countries around the world, making us one of the most geographically diverse small colleges in the nation. The Lawrence curriculum, our community, and our campuses are sure to broaden your horizons as you share your light with the world. So what's the next step for you? I encourage you to tour our campus. We're open for visits for juniors, for sophomores. We're on spring break right now, but we're opening up next week with students on campus. And well, you can visit now, but there aren't students until next week. But come visit us and we'll give you a free t-shirt. And when you're ready to apply, all you have to do is add us on the Common App or start your application right on our website. It's free to apply. We offer multiple deadlines, and we've been test optional since 2005. We have a generous financial aid policy. Our merit scholarships range between $18,000 and $31,000 per year for 4 years, and over half of students receive need-based grants on top of that. We currently meet full demonstrated need for over 90% of our admitted students, and we have raised the funds to meet the full 100% of all of our students' need within the next few years. And lastly, don't forget about me, your trusty admissions counselor, based right here in Chicago, I might add, and a proud Lawrence alum. I'm here to offer support and guidance through this process, and feel free to contact me anytime. I put you, the student, at the center of everything I do, and I'm excited to get to know you and read your application. And with that, I'll pass it to the next institution.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, and next up we have Macalester College.
Thanks, Keegan. Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a great evening. My name is Jace Riggin. I use he, they pronouns, and I'm an assistant director of admission here at Macalester. I am coming to you from, Minneapolis in the Twin Cities. this evening having just visited the Chicago metropolitan area. Macalester College is a small liberal arts college of about 2,200 students located in the heart of the Twin Cities metropolitan area. We are a mission-driven institution grounded in our values of academic excellence, multiculturalism, internationalism, as well as service to society. We're not afraid to say who we are, and in fact, our mission, ethos, and values are the primary reason why many students choose to apply and ultimately attend Macalester College. Macalester is located in the Twin Cities metro area, which is a metroplex of about 3.5 million people with robust public transit and renowned international airport. Some fun facts as we get started. There are many green spaces in the Twin Cities. There's more than 4,000 miles of paved bike trails within the metropolitan area. There are 10,000 lakes, 16 Fortune 500 companies, and you'll notice on the slide showed a few of our famous Minnesotans, Lizzo, as well as Prince, Chastity Brown, and Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz. Last, I'd like to share that there are fantastic venues within the Twin Cities to see the arts. We have a vibrant nonprofit sector, and the Twin Cities is home to a lot of different opportunities for biking. This is an aerial view of campus. Internationalism as well as global citizenship aren't new values to our campus. These long-standing traditions to our campus are the reason why we've flown the UN flag from our central flagpole since 1950, and why campus activism and student leadership continue to shape policies and the social vibes on campus to this day. Collectively, our students come from over 99 different countries, as well as all 50 states and 4 major outlying territories. Our student body speaks over 75 different languages, and about 16% of our student population are international students. Currently on our campus, roughly 32% of our students are domestic students who identify as Black, Indigenous, or as students of color. And in the past few incoming classes, right around 25% of our students have identified as first generation in their families to attend college. Thinking about academics at Macalester, there are 39 different majors across 40 different departments. We offer 10 concentrations. These are like focuses. They offer students the ability to bring together a lot of different courses from a variety of different departments that are of interest to our faculty as well as our students at any given moment. Currently, the 3 most popular concentrations on our campus are international medicine as well as global studies. The other one would be urban studies on our campus. Another piece to be thinking about is incredibly individualized advising at Macalester, a 10-to-1 student to faculty ratio, as well as an average class size of about 16 students. There is a lot to be involved in on our campus. We are a wonderful place to call home. There are over 106 different student organizations, many political and social justice orgs. Notably, there are no Greek organizations or fraternities or sororities on our campus. There are a few honor societies, however, there is no Greek life on our campus. Our students have a variety of different houses, 24 in total to choose from. These are residence halls, specialty houses, as well as language villages. I'd like to note that we are an NCAA Division III institution like many of the other colleges here, which means that we have a lot of opportunities for students to be involved in varsity athletics at a highly competitive level, while still having a firm balance between their academics and that athletics commitment. MAC is a fantastic place to do research as well as an internship. 40% of our students at Macalester are STEM-based majors, and 80% of them conduct independent or collaborative research with a faculty member during their time at MAC. There are over 200 plus internships within just 8 miles of our campus, and our students have the ability to take advantage of these. 3/4 or 76% of our students complete at least one internship during their time at Macalester. Want to talk just a moment before we speak about the pathways to Macalester as well as need-based and merit-based aid about outcomes. 94% of the students of the graduating class of 2018 were placed or within a service-based program or graduate program within the first 6 months of graduating, as well as 60% of all of our students are within the first 6 years of graduating from Macalester completing or in the process of completing a terminal degree within their field. We meet 100% of demonstrated need. There is additionally no application fee with Macalester College, and we are permanently test optional. I recommend that students consider early with Macalester, whether that be our non-binding early action or the binding early decision rounds. These are open to students as well as the regular decision round. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I am happy to help you. I am your admission counselor at St. Ignatius. Otherwise, take care and have a fantastic rest of your night.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, I'd like to welcome everyone back onto the screen briefly so we can hear from you all one more time. I'd like to go through one question here. So what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And I'll start back up with Babson College.
That's a great question. One piece of advice would be to use your admission counselors. All of the people in this virtual room, as well as folks at other colleges, really are not bothered by your messages. In fact, that is our job. So we are excited to hear from you and give you any support that we can, be your advocate, get to know you throughout the college process.
Wonderful. Thank you. Grinnell College.
There we go. I'd say, remember the human aspect of going to college. A lot of institutions offer the same exact thing, just maybe in a different form, shape, or size. But whether you're happy or miserable is a completely different thing than just going to a school that offers the thing that you want. It will definitely make your entire college experience different. So just remember the human aspect. Talk to current students, see how you fit in that environment as a human being before you are a student.
Awesome. Thank you. Illinois Wesleyan University, what is your advice?
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of same thing. I mean, absolutely think about the human aspect, think about places in which you fit in. Utilize your admissions counselors, of course, and check your email, of course. I know that a lot of times we are communicating with you and finding different ways to kind of interact with you. So absolutely, just make sure that you stay on top of everything, and we're here to help you as much as possible. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Emmanuel College, what is your advice?
My advice is to have fun with the college search process. It really can be, a stressful, thing at times, getting your application sent out and things like that. But also just remember you've reached a huge milestone in your life, and, getting to this point and figuring out, where you're going to take your next steps and, start this next chapter of your life. It's very exciting, and hold on to that excitement. Like I said, just have fun with it, and be proud of, how much you've accomplished thus far, and you're going to end up where you're supposed to eventually. So yeah, just have fun with it.
Awesome. Thank you. Lawrence University.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody ever played the Lemmings games, but there's a strong follow the leader element to going to college. And I encourage you to break that chain and follow yourself rather than your friend or your parents or whomever, because ultimately it's your life and your 4 years, and it will help you avoid some of the pitfalls that Christian and Anthony and others mentioned. So yeah. Don't be a lemming.
Thank you. And Macalester College.
Visit, and then visit schools around the school you want to visit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I think I can't agree with anything or everything else that's been said any more than I can say in this time. But just go visit, lean into that feeling or that connection you made with the students, and then, like Illinois Wesleyan was talking about, make sure that you are connecting with your counselor. So
Thank you so much. Alrighty, and with that, we are going to wrap up for this evening. So I want to send a big thank you, shout out to all of our presenters. Thank you for putting all of the information together and spending this time with us. And thank you to our participants on the other end as well. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick survey. We appreciate any feedback you can provide. There is one more session after this, so we encourage you to check back to the schedule and jump in. You can find this session's recording as well as all the other recordings at strivescan.com/Ignatius. And that's all I have. So have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.